everyone, and welcome to Trail Grazers Bugging Out. Jim and I are up at the cabin just for the day. We came up and met Dave and Sarah up here for some other things that were going on, and we're headed home in just a few minutes. But we took that opportunity to bring the last of our pantry items up. So now you can see that we are fully stocked with what I had prepared at home in the pantry. So we have spices here. And here's my flour for making bread and whatever. All the ingredients, 4 different kinds of beans right here. When we published our last video where we were getting ready for bringing things up here back at the house, and I was showing putting things in these plastic containers, many of you raised the alarm about why are you putting them in plastic? They should be in glass, they should be in metal. Rodents can get into plastic, and so you have to put them into glass. And I acknowledge the fact that glass or metal is far superior for keeping mice out than is plastic. And I know many of you were alarmed about that, and I should have explained a little bit more, because had I gone through those explanations, I think you would not have been so worried about it. First of all, in all of my adult years, for over 50 years that I have been doing food storage and storing things in plastic, and as food safe plastic came on the market, I know some of you don't care for plastic. I love plastic. Food safe plastic has just been a boon. And we have never, not one time ever, have we had rodents gnaw through one of our plastic bins. Our food has always been safe from rodents that we have had in these plastic bins. Now that doesn't mean it doesn't happen, because many of you have shared your experience where it has happened. And so we recognize that. So there could be a number of factors for that. And in fact, probably it is environmental factors, meaning that perhaps where we are, the mice are not as aggressive, or we don't have as much of an infestation as you would, for instance, on a farm where you are storing animal food and that sort of thing in sheds and barns. But our experience, that's the number one thing, is I'm counting a lot on our previous experience. So that's one thing. Then one of the other things, I'm sure that some of you have heard of the concept of what is called Occam's razor. And it's fun to look that up to see what the origin of that is. But Occam's razor is just a saying that means that generally the easiest solution is the best solution. And that's another thing that I operate on. I have actually a lot of my life operated on the idea of Occam's razor, trying to be as simple as possible, finding the simplest solution possible. And for us, it's plastic, because we have already purchased a lot of plastic. I know what works for us, and so the Occam's razor idea does come into play here. Now, we do not in any way want to contribute to multiplication of the rodent population in this area by allowing them to use our food to help populate even more and increase their numbers. And so we're very concerned about that, along with the idea of the diseases that they carry as well. Mice are opportunistic. They are also big believers in Occam's razor. They go to the simplest solution for their problem. Usually that problem is hunger. And so they are going to go to the easiest solution. And right now, there are seeds everywhere out there. Our elm trees are putting out seeds like a snowstorm. And so the mice are gathering lots of seeds. They're out of the house here. We've been coming up here now for a couple of months doing cleaning. And I can tell you that in areas where we have cleaned, and then we go away for a few days and come back, there are not more mouse droppings where we have cleaned, which tells us that the cabin is not overrunning with mice. So that is another reason why we have decided to do this right here and store in plastic and feel fairly confident about it. Also, I'm a pretty good observer, and as we were cleaning this kitchen, one of the things I observed, and I even commented on the video, was that the mouse droppings were in the lower cabinets. There were not even any mouse droppings in the upper cabinets, even though this place has been ignored and the previous people who stayed here for any length of time did not take care to move their food out, left things in place to attract mice in the first place. But there were no mouse droppings in the upper cabinet. In this particular cabinet, when I opened it up to clean it, it was hardly even dusty. And there was not one mouse dropping except in the very last drawer down at the very bottom here. There were 2 or 3 mouse droppings there. So from my perspective, this is a very safe place to put our food, and the plastic will work just fine. Now, I had to laugh at one gentleman who made a comment, at least I think he was male. His name sort of indicated, but it could have been his wife, I don't know, who said, with all of this talk about the type of container to use and what works and what doesn't, why don't you just make the cabin so it's mouse-proof? And I said, exactly. We want to put our energy into mouse-proofing the cabin. This cabin will not be left vacant for months at a time, as long as we are able to be here and do our thing here. We'll be up year-round. This place is a desert place. It doesn't get snow, and so we can come up year-round, and we'll be doing that. Now, we know right now it's summer, and the mice are foraging outside and finding plenty of food. When colder weather comes, we should have the cabin as mouse-proof as we know how to do it, and then we'll just be observant. And if we start seeing some evidence of mice, we will track that down, find out where they're coming in, and put a stop to that too. We just really appreciate everyone's concern, and we are mindful of that. And so we believe that we have come to the solution that works best for us. Everyone needs to make the choice of what works best for them, given their environmental characteristics or whatever other characteristics we might want to consider when making decisions like this. But we feel our food is pretty safe. This is the only place we're keeping food except for some canned goods in an upper cabinet right here. Everything else, all other food there is no other food stored anywhere else in the cabin. So we're plugging along, getting things done. We brought a microwave up. A couple of you have commented that this really doesn't seem like a bug out place. Well, I don't know if there is one way that a bug out place is supposed to look. This is what was available to us, and for it, we are not having to spend any of our resources except for what we want for our own convenience. We just will work with whatever we have here, and we're so fortunate to have to be able to be generating our own power through solar and pretty soon through hydroelectric. We're so grateful to have that option, so we're not cooking outside in cast iron all the time. And so as we make a bug out place, regardless of where it is or what resources might be, we just work with those resources and we do the best job that we possibly can. Know that we feel really good about our decisions here, and we'll just see how it goes. If this is an utter failure and mice get in here, we'll let you know, and then we'll let you know what we're going to do about it when that time might come. We're going to plow ahead and keep on doing what we've been doing. We have the whole upstairs yet to clean. We haven't even taken you upstairs yet. So watch for those videos forthcoming soon. So we will see you very soon for more adventures at the cabin.